2014 Hearthstone Grand Prix. I'll be your host for this round, Nimsh. And I'm joined here by Lothar, as always, and Defilor, the newcomer, our pro player from Greece. So, guys, how are you doing? And Defilor specifically, casting here.
I'm pretty happy. Well, I got disqualified like in the last round.
Disqualified for what?
Yeah, I lost 2 games in a row.
Oh, okay, so it's not. It was not a disqualification.
No. Just I'm out of the top 8.
Yeah. Well, you know, it happens in a Swiss tournament. It happens in every single tournament, but now at least you cast here with us.
Yeah, that's fine too.
And you will be our specialist because we are going to have Hawkeye versus Kaldi. So can you tell us more about Hawkeye? He's not your teammate, or is he your teammate?
No, he's not my teammate.
But you share the country.
Yeah, we share a country, and we have a lot of things in common.
Like what?
Like what? We both play since like beta.
Okay.
And I think we're considered like the top players in Greece by like most people in the community.
Who else is known from Greece?
All right, so best players in Greece. But let's look at the standings right now. Those guys, let's see what is the score. So Kaldi and Hawkeye both are 5-0, and this is round 6. So whoever wins is actually through.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Whoever wins this match will be through to the top 8. So this is a very important match, and I hope the players will not be nervous doing it, because you know that's a really high stakes game. It's even more important than the first stage of top 8.
That's definitely true. We had 128 players, and now reduced only to the top 8. Those 2 guys facing each other, and what great players. So Defilor, tell us more about. Well, actually, like while we were looking at the standings, are you guys surprised? I've seen most of those names already, and many lists before.
I'm not surprised at all. Like, I know Hawkeye personally, and he's a strong player, but Tidler, Ostkaka are very good players. Kaldi too. Like, probably like they're not like the most known players, but if you ask guys who is like, Ostkaka is the answer of a lot of pros. Who is the best player? Who is not that known? And yeah, Tidler is a powerhouse as well.
Yeah, obviously we have a couple of matches running right now, so that's why the score is some people have more points than others, but they are going through it. Lothar, would you like to add anything about the standings?
Not really. I'm not surprised at all. And as I said 2 rounds before, I was looking forward to Tidler to perform well, and he's actually 5-0. So I'm really curious if he will go on a perfect score, because that's one of the horses I would bet on, apart from Thijs, of course, and I really wonder how Thijs will be doing also after this round.
All right. So the match is starting right now. Kaldi versus Hawkeye. The winner advances to the top 8. He will still have to play 1 more game, but a 6-1 score is it. So Hunter versus Druid.
I think Kaldi got the matchup he wanted. It's a matchup which favors the Hunter, and I guess it's a hybrid Hunter. We see Savannah High main, some early drops. I suppose he's running freezed traps. I haven't seen his decks, but...
And those are super strong against Druid. In most situations, apart from the scenario when there's turn 6 for Force of Nature, right? Because then the freezing trap is kind of like a liability to the whole game plan for Hunter.
Kaldi is actually playing the same lineup as he did last time at DreamHack Summer. Kaldi qualified through the open bracket, and right now with a perfect score of 5-0, playing same classes. It's amazing that he brings the same classes again.
Well, play what you love, and you win.
Yeah, that kind of fits. Like most players are specializing in at least one class, and they always bring it. So no wonder. There's a Wolf Rider, so it's a really hybrid Hunter, because that trend happened actually started recently to add the Arcane Golems or Wolf Riders to a deck with Savannah High main. So usually it was kind of 2 different archetypes. Now we see that combined together to make a new kind of swingy Hunter, which can beat both mid-range decks and control decks at the same time.
Yeah, a very good archetype where you basically... Normal Hunter, Face Hunter runs out of steam. Hybrid Hunter has a high main at the moment, so you never run out of steam. You basically follow up with high main after you go face for most of the time.
But look at that hand. 2 Innervate.
You really dislike the card, right?
I hate it.
Why is that?
I just think the same happened in Magic, like in the early days. There were cards that were bending the fundamental rule of the game, which is mana system, and Innervate just breaks that rule, because you can just play something that doesn't belong, and at the game, like let's turn 2, Drill the Claw, a taunt minion with 4/6 stats, kind of overpowered, right? So you don't pay that high price when it comes to risk with the innervate, and you just go ahead and snowball from that position. Of course, there's some at some point might be some blowbacks, but most of the time it's just super efficient.
Deflor, do you agree with that?
Yeah, now we see the snap kill command to kill the Drill of the Claw. Kaldi was pretty lucky to have the answer. I think he would be screwed since he has no freezing trap, which is, in my opinion, the most important card of this matchup. Followed by High Main, which is in his hand, fortunately for him. So it's going to be a tough match.
So who has an edge for now? And normally, who is stronger in this matchup?
Normally, this matchup favors the Hunter. And right now, it's kind of hard to evaluate. I think the Hunter is ahead since he has the High Main on 6. But yeah, that's a bad draw as well, the second force. But I guess Sylvanas can turn the game around if played after the High Main, so you can actually trade.
That's a good point. But sometimes you don't want to be played first. An example, if there's a Pelted Shredder on board, because you want to steal the Pelted Shredder, right?
Yep, in those cases, yeah.
So can you use this opportunity also to tell us more about Hawkeye? He was in the final of Euro versus China. Anything else worth a note?
Yep. Apart from that, he recently qualified for the Vulcan League, which is going to be pretty soon. He's doing really well lately. Actually, he also qualified with the Infinity, and I'm also qualified, so we're going to see him in 1 month from now.
Nice.
Oh, that's really nice.
He's really
yep, please continue.
Yeah, he's really tough he's really good at online qualifiers.
We'll see how it does, how it goes with this tournament, because now that's the really important match for him.
Even if he loses here and wins the next match, he will go through. But obviously, you don't want to lose. You want to go through right now, to not give anything to chance.
Yeah, and not be nervous at all.
Mostly for the psychology factor, because like the players who lose this match, they will go with, it's like bad tempo.
Yeah, the morale will be down, that's for sure.
Yeah, right now we see the High Main on 6. Just played its green.
Yeah, it's kind of like the old Dr. Boom, right? We played on 6.
That's definitely true, and there's nothing to contest it anyway. So you are safe to play it there.
And that's a snap Sylvanas by Hawkeye.
Definitely. Then you trade for the Lepronome. Because you don't want to... Well, maybe not. Maybe you would like to get the Lepronome instead of one of the Hyenas.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
But then Lepronome presents more damage, because it will go face and it still deals 2 damage with the Death Rattle, and you are pretty low, 19. And after Savannah High Main attack, it will be at 13.
Lepernime's OP.
Yeah, it is. That's why I like the card. Always 2 damage, whatever happens.
Consistent.
So now you just push for damage here, right? You go 6 damage into the face of the Savannah, put him on 13. You can play Lepronome, Pelted Shredder, and Hero Power, but that leaves your... And that's also the case. Now, exactly the scenario I pointed out. The Savannah, when killed by Sylvanas, will spawn the Hyenas before the effect of the Sylvanas will be made. So the chances of stealing the Pelted Shredder are not that high.
So Deflor, can you take us through that play? Why did he attack into Savannah High Main?
Yeah, right now he just wants to reduce the damage on board. And because he realizes he can just win with the board, his opponent's hand tends to be a bit weak. So right now the Hunter can just apply more pressure. But I don't really agree with Kaldi's play. I would probably go for a more aggressive approach.
Yeah, I agree here. The face damage is more important in this matchup than anything else, because you will lose the board war against Hawkeye's Druid here at some point because of the Sylvanas. And the Force of Nature here, as we see, is really crucial to trade for the initial board state, and then we'll see the drop from the Pelted Shredder, which can be killed also.
Yeah, on the other hand, he actually robbed Hawkeye from the possibility to trade with Sylvanas as he likes, and maybe stealing the High Main if there will be a simple Wrath.
But his hand represents very little damage.
Exactly.
The threats are not...
The Wolf Rider and the single Lepronome are not that big of a threat, So the single hit from Sylvanas was worth more than his hand or board state.
Yeah, I think I agree with going for face. Just wanted to explain why you could trade with Sylvanas on your own terms to try to deal with it. By the way, I like the placement of Piloted Shredder here. If
Yeah, no misplay there.
Yeah, definitely no misplay.
And now he has to get luck now. And
1-4.
that's fine. That's fine.
That's
for
not
Hawkeye.
bad, yeah. It's not that aggressive, but you probably want to deal the damage anyway.
Overheal.
Mad Scientist can provide him with that freezing trap that he was looking for, but it's not presenting that much damage at this moment.
The second force in Hawkeye's hand can negate the freezing trap, which is
That's a
really
very good
important.
point. You can like attack with the first treant to the Wolf Rider, then with the second treant to the Mad Scientist, and third treant will just pop the freezing trap back. So you can use your Druid of the Claw. Wait, does it make any sense? I don't think so.
With the Keeper, silence
Well,
the Mad Scientist.
You can still use your hero power, so you can pop everything and just leave him top decking.
Yeah. Right now you can't use your Keeper because that leaves you with 4 mana and you definitely want to play the Taunt. You either play Force or the Taunt right here.
I guess the Force of Nature is not a bad choice here, with paired up with the hero power, because otherwise you're just left with Druid and Shade, right? It might push for more damage in the long term, because the Shade will grow and attack faster, because then you will attack with it from the next turn, right?
Yeah, I would rather see the Force here because you can just Druid of the Claw and Keeper next turn on curve.
But then if you play the Force, how do you kill your opponents? He will steadily draw damage cards, and you use double Force.
Yeah.
You will not be able to force Savage Roar.
Yeah, okay, actually you can either draw Savage Roar and Lore. In the case you actually draw Lore, this plays better. If you draw Savage Roar, the other plays better. So it's just depending on what you draw in following turns.
Alright, he was able to deal with the freezing trap really well here.
So now he will kill the Leper Gnome, so
Yep.
perfect clear, and even the weapon is not as powerful as it should be with the freezing trap out.
And now Kaldi needs a quick shot.
Savannah
Quick
High
shot
Main?
or Savannah High Main, that's
Absolutely, like, or quick shot in Savannah Highway.
it. Oh, that would be perfect.
Quick shot into Savannah would be OP.
I do it sometimes.
Glaivezuka is pushing for damage, but that might be not enough, because this turn it will be a Druid with the Claw into Shade of Nextramus. Oh, the Belcher. Well, you can play the Belcher and the Shade.
That's huge. But maybe Druid of the Claw first?
Why no? I think Druid of the Claw should be second, because it has the option to charge.
Yeah, that's true, but I think he prefers Druid because like those 4 damage will eventually be important in the race. Like 1 damage per turn can matter.
But you can use the charge like next turn. So if you play like in this case, Belcher is -3 damage because it lacks the 1 attack,
that's
right?
True. That's true.
So if you would play the Belcher, there's like no difference between silence now because you only have 1 taunt.
But right now she can just Belcher plus Trent plus her ability. Maybe he just wants to go for both taunts, since if his opponent finds an owl, he's weak to chargers. But I can see your point.
But even if there is an owl, it's better to owl the 4/6 and then play Belcher, then play Belcher, get an owl, and then Druid of the Claw.
No, I just think that the Druid of the Claw with the option to charge is more important in the race because it puts 8 damage in 2 turns and not 4 damage or 6 damage.
I actually agree there.
Yeah.
Especially with that kind of hand. Like, look at that. I didn't know that he plays Ancient of War. Playing the Druid of the Claw in Taunt Pump makes almost no sense here.
Gara just got eliminated, guys. AKA
Oh.
Wonder defeated Gara.
Wow, those are the 2 guys that beat me. That's pretty funny, I guess.
They had to meet at some point.
Yeah. We all 3 faced each other. It's okay. Not what he was looking for, I guess.
Yeah, but he's still in a good top deck shape, let's say, because after Shapeshift, that's 5 points of health. So a simple kill command or quick shot.
Or a quick shot,
finishes the
yeah.
game.
8, 10, yeah, okay.
Uproot or Riot?
I think he still has lethal, even if he does
Yeah, I'm
not
just joking.
uproot. Yeah.
There's always... Chat will be spamming that, for sure.
But if he was like... if the Hunter had more HP, he should uproot to set lethal.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's a play, like...
Is there any reason here to not play minion to play around second Unleash the Hounds?
No. Because
There's
like
no
if you taunt...
difference. If he taunts up, there's no difference like, between the Unleash the Hounds for 4 hounds or for 10 hounds. Or
But
whatever.
if he will go for uproot and Shade of Naxxramas, then he's dead to Hounds.
Yeah, he has 3 outs, right? Or yeah, 2 quick shots, 1 kill command.
Yeah, because he used one really early.
Yep, let's see. An esports moment,
Second Glazuka, well, that's definitely not what he was looking for.
and that's game.
Yep, that's game. So
Alright.
first game goes to Hawkeye.
Wow. Druid versus Hunter, where Druid is at a disadvantage originally with those builds, but Kaldi never got that freezing trap. And also with Jaime, he made the decision to attack into the Sylvanas. That might have cost him the game.
Yeah, and double force of nature really carrying Hawkeye in this match.
All right.
Vital, I think.
So Hawkeye 1-0. He still has Shaman and a Warlock. Have we
Shaman,
seen
wow.
Shaman? Forsen was playing Shaman.
Forsen was playing Shaman, the Mech Shaman iteration.
But Hawkeye is not playing a Mech Shaman, spoiler alert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You-
the normal Shaman for the first time.
Normal Shaman.
Actually, it's an egg summon.
Yeah, we see the egg here.
Yep. We see that.
Okay, so this is not normal. Mid-range, though.
Well, Kolento was playing Egg Shaman during the DreamHack Stockholm, right?
That was so long ago.
That was the qualification for World Championship.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, Kolento was playing Eggs in the Shaman.
I have to say that Hawkeye is a shaman specialist, and even Gara himself said, "You're the best shaman." Like, he brought it to Europe versus China, won every single match with it. So yeah, he's known as a very good shaman player. It's actually his favorite class.
Oh man, if
Okay,
Gara
good to
best
know.
Shaman says that Hawkeye is best Shaman,
Man, so something is fishy here.
You can ask him to confirm that later on.
well, he's on a good way to have a winner's interview. I'm definitely excited to see the Shaman game. His opening seems to be pretty good as well with the Mana Titanium, that egg, and some buffs.
And actually, an important information: Purple Drunk in the match between Kaldi and Purple Drunk, Kaldi went all in on his Funk Leaf against the Freeze Mage and won the game. So Hawkeye, knowing that, keeps the Hex in the mulligan. I don't really agree with that, but it's something to consider. That's the reason he kept it, because he knows his opponent has a Funk Leaf.
And he actually has Van Cleef in his hand right now as well.
Yep.
He's gonna go for like a Twin 4, Deadly Poison, Backstab, and Edwin Van Cleef.
Yep. But decides to use it right now, and I think this is better.
Yeah, 4/4 minion that will get eaten by an Earthshock or Hex, doesn't really need to be bigger.
And you make a tempo play, you have the Shredder for 4, so he's in a good shape.
We hyped Shaman so much, but this is actually a bad matchup for Shaman.
That's one of the worst, probably the worst matchup for Shaman.
Well, he does have a decent start here.
I have to say that Hawkeye will have some trouble getting a win with his Shaman, but maybe he will find it right now, because that's a very, very good opener.
Lothar, don't cry,
Yeah,
but Dice
just,
is out.
Too bad.
Oh, I'm sad as well.
There's Violet Teacher. Deathlord, what do you think about Violet Teachers in those decks?
Violet Teacher is pretty clunky against Patron, and not so good against Handlock. I'd rather have Shredder against it, so it really depends on the expected meta. When I was expecting like not so much Patron and more Hunters and Zoo, I was actually running 1 Violet, 1 Shredder. But right now I think it's better to run double Shredder.
Okay. Lothar, do you like Violet Teacher or do you prefer Shredder or maybe Senjin?
From my personal experience, I just hate Violet Teacher because it doesn't work with oil so often. So I really like to see it rotating out of the oil rogue, because it just comes to a situation when there's like a 53% of winning the game. It just feels so dirty, you know.
Yeah.
So
I can totally get behind that. He uses one of the hexes to get rid of the Pilot Shredder. Excellent attack before the frog lands.
excellent.
But right now Hawkeye has some trouble because he does not have like a lot of bodies to populate the board and start trading.
No, definitely.
But no Blade Flurry is a big problem for Kaldi.
Well, what we're gonna do here is just pop the Flame Tongue Totem. That's it, because that kind of the Flame Tongue Totem is one of the biggest opponents for the rogue. They can just push the rogue to make a threat with anything on the board. Like even a single searing totem is a free 1 minion, which is kind of annoying for the rogue. So killing the flame totem is one of the first targets you actually want to target.
And right now I wouldn't blame if he hacks the teacher outrightly, and he does it. I mean, you won't see a lot of targets, and even if he runs Dr. Boom, you have the BGH.
So yeah, so he's safe and he's getting board presence now.
Oh,
And
look
here's
at
the
that.
Wow.
So both players did top deck, kinda.
What do you do though? Like this is turn 6 and you can weapon up. Falnus for the draw.
I think you just played Talnos and maybe Sap. The Nerubian.
or just kill it.
Just kill it with the deadly poison. But that's your second deadly poison.
Yeah.
I think I would rather keep the 1/1 on the board, you know?
Yeah, I like the sub here because you can kill for free the O2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
And
like
I
the
think
sub.
keeping the board clear against the Shaman is more important.
And you can also play Thalnos, and you need to cycle at this point, so you
Yes.
can have turn 8 plays.
You can also push your opponent to be overloaded for turn 7. Because if he uses like a lightning storm for that,
But he opts to keep the sub instead.
that's interesting. Because turn 7 for you with Dr. Boom, so you don't plan to actually kill the Nerubian till that point.
Playing Sylvanas on this board will be able to counter Dr. Boom. But do you read that much? Do you read that far? You might also go for Totem.
Totem? I think Sylvanas would be strictly better.
Totem is nice. Actually, yeah, Totem. If you hit a Tone Totem, your opponent cannot clear and play Boom in the same time, so that's perfect. But right now he can't play Lotheb, obviously, so we will most likely see Dr. Boom.
I think so. With that amount of minions on the board, it's not really that easy to deal.
Is
So
he
like
going
not-
for a kill on the Sylvanas?
Kill on Sylvanas
Plus
will
Lotheb.
secure the Dr. Boom next turn. So if he uses like weapon up, deadly poison.
But I don't like this play because you waste both of your poisons, and now your opponent will get a free trade on Argus.
Well,
That's-
you don't know that there's Argus for sure, but
Yeah, but dealing 1 damage from the Shaman is really easy with like an Elf Shock or...
But you play
even-
Lotheb, so if you play Earthshock, you just waste your whole turn and you just play Boom on an empty
Is-
board.
Is that so bad?
Yeah, because like in the next turn you have Dr. Boom, so
Yeah, but Hawkeye, he knows that even though there will be a Dr. Boom, you have the Big Game Hunter, so you don't have to really worry
but I
about
mean
it.
like if Kaldi, if Hawkeye plays an Earthshock, Kaldi is really happy about that because
Yeah.
he doesn't know your opponent has a BJH. He has wasted both hexes, so if you play Dr. Boom in an empty board, you believe you won the game at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But right now Argus is really important.
Argus is amazing. Just trade with the 5/5, have the totem, draw your cards, and if there is Dr. Boom, and I don't see why not,
And
he will be able to draw 2 cards.
and right now it's not that obvious that you trade.
Well, if you deal for 12 to 12, right, then your single Alakir is 6, so the half of the remaining HP points.
I would go face here, and Hawkeye goes face as well. Really like that.
Well, you will get at least 1 card from the totem anyway, so your hand will be better.
And Flare is too late here.
Yeah, kinda.
Poor Kaldi.
Yeah,
You can still
lucky.
play Sap. Fan of Nice first to see what do you draw.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, like, if you play Boom, you're dead.
Yep.
And because you saw the 5 to face, you might assume you are dead.
Yeah, but like Shaman is one of the classes that has burst from the hand.
And it's 3 points of damage. 3 points of damage is so easy to deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Any spell of the Shaman is 3 or more.
Oh, he goes for the...
He
Yeah.
might have not have a choice here. It's like a play to win.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he makes
true.
a gamble.
But he had to trade, so Hawkeye will get 1 more card. Okay, so that's lethal in the next turn.
You just
Yeah, so I
play
guess
whatever this turn. Maybe prepare for a taunt. Nah, that doesn't really matter. You just play Big Game Hunter, kill the 7/7.
I would even go face here.
Oh.
Yeah, just
And then Hunter Creeper as well.
Yeah.
And you're good. So Hawkeye seems like he's winning game number 2 as well.
He needs a heal bot or bust.
But even if he gets a heal bot here, there is Alakir with Rock Biter dealing 12 points of damage.
Yeah.
So do you think you play with the bomb first to maybe pop the Haunted Creeper to play Fan of Knives?
I don't think you can do much if you don't know what your opponent has, if you don't see the Alakir Rock Biter.
Opts to farm instead.
No. That's sad.
I don't think you care about those spiders that much. You just want to draw into... Like, even if you get oil, you are still not going to flurry. So now maybe with double SA7, he thinks like, hey, I have a chance. I just killed that board.
That was also interesting because the 100 Creeper was played after the bombs were spawned, so the bomb respawn was first before the spawn of the new Spectre Spiders.
Yeah, the Fragile thing. All right, we are going to see Alakir finish from Hawkeye. 12 points of damage to the face. And that's a 2-0 lead versus Kaldi. Kaldi not doing that great here.
And he's left, I mean, Hawkeye is left with Warlock, which is a handlock.
It's a Mali lock.
Oh,
Mali
wow.
lock.
My
It's a
favorite
Mali
deck.
lock. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And right now we see Kaldi playing Rogue, Hunter, and
Probably handlock.
Handlock. Yeah, I've seen him play Handlock.
So this means Hawkeye has a pretty good chance to win the series because handlock versus Malilock. Malilock is in a huge advantage.
Yeah, that's his best bet to win this matchup.
Yeah, because it has like 2 Big Game Hunters, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, but
That's
even if you don't have the big game hunters, it's basically like you do the same stuff, but then you have the combo to deal 16 points of damage.
If you draw the Emperor on curve, you pretty much win this matchup. Like,
Yeah.
and yep.
So
There's
how
the
do you
Mali
play
guys.
this against the Rogue? I believe you do need your Twilight Drakes early to be able to put them in. You want a coin. Unfortunately for Hawkeye, he didn't get it. Fortunately for Kaldi, he has the coin as a Rogue, which is great.
That's excellent, yeah. And yeah, 3 drops are fine too, I guess. So
In
you can
Gang
just
Boss?
in Gang Boss or the 3/5 if you run it instead.
Is he playing Technician?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
So he's mulliganing for Twilight Drakes. At this point, you don't need those cards yet.
You probably should play the Technician, right? Because you play with Corruptor, which has the same synergy as Technician, so why would you deny yourself to have a Technician?
The thing is, like, Gang Boss is much better than Technician in most scenarios. Same stats, can deal much more damage, and Technician is dependent on the Dragon earlier than Corruptor. Corruptor you play by turn 5, maybe 4 the coins, so
Yeah,
you have
that's
more
a good
chances to
point.
get the Dragon.
To be honest, I'm not sold on either of these, so I'm just testing 1 and 1 right now to see which card's the best.
Different situations, probably.
Yeah, against Aggro you want Aim Gang Boss to trade.
Oh look, there's already 1 Soulfire for the Emperor, so this is really important when you draw. If you even don't draw now, the Malagos and the second Soulfire, you will still have a potential combo with 2 Soulfires on turn 9, on turn 10. Sorry.
And right now Kaldi has the possibility of swarming the board with like a crazy play, like coin, violet, and to prep this rate. And judging by Hawkeye's hand, this is by far the best play, but he does not know it.
Maybe Kaldi is not aware it's Malagos.
Yeah, that's true.
Malagos
And
deck,
that
because
was so crucial.
yeah,
that was so crucial.
Really important. On the other hand, if he knows that it's Malagos, and he should probably know by
At this
now,
point, yeah, I feel like Farseer and
then you
Implosion.
can assume the only AoE effect would be Shadow Flame.
There's 1 Hellfire, 1 Shadow Flame.
But to be honest, like 90 or 95% of handlocks do not run Farseer. So when you see that card, you start realizing it's a Malilock.
Yeah, he knows by now, I think.
Yep.
So now he should go with spawning the maximum amount of minions from the teacher, right?
Not necessarily. If you think there is a Hellfire,
The Hellfire doesn't do much because you clear. You just leave 2. Oh no, you leave 2 imps. Unless you use Blade Flurry, but do you want to use Blade Flurry here?
Not really.
Not really. But if you manage to get Hellfired by your opponent on 5, you play Loatheb on an empty board, and this is pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
It also contents Emperor.
It's really difficult because while Rogue playing versus this kind of deck, the combo deck, I would love to have Preparation Sprint. To have more cards, more options, and kill him before he gets the combo.
I think like Kaldi had a very good chance of winning this game if he played the combo last turn. But right now he's in a tough spot.
I don't think so. Like, he has preparation and sprint. He can draw into stuff.
Yeah, obviously, but I think like this Emperor on 6 will just lower Hawkeye's hand. And
Also, there are no dragons. So those Corruptors not doing much. They're
yeah,
like tall striders.
Because I didn't like leaving the teacher just to be killed from the board. You just know the outcome of the next turn because, you know, there's lethal for the valid teacher.
that's a snap Lothab, I guess.
Yeah, you should be fine with the Lothab. There's nothing else you want to force here. Unless you... nah. I was thinking Shredder maybe kind of eviscerates at the weapon attack, but...
That's not too good because like the Shredder has to trade into the 1-2, which is really clunky.
Yeah, wow, this is a huge
Look
draw.
at that, Maligos.
Wow.
Just in time, and he has 3 combo pieces in hand. So this is exactly what he needed. That's 17 points of damage on turn 10. Actually, turn 9 even.
Turn 9, yeah.
Turn 9,
because
yeah.
you have a free Soulfire, so the old style Soulfire. That card was so broken.
That's why I love this deck. It's like, it brings the old good feel of Soulfire.
Blizzard is doing such a good job at some things like I'm a big fan of Shredders. Well, Emperor creates some fun scenarios as well. It's not that healthy for the game, but it's very fun to play.
Imagine Soulfire being for 0 now. It would have been played in every single Warlock.
Yeah.
Yep.
In every single Warlock. It's just such. It was such a good and amazing card.
Yeah, like in Handlock, you play turn 4 Twilight Drake into and you just Soulfired an Azure and it was GG against Miracle.
Yeah, true.
So now you basically stall and play big minions to get to that damage point when you win with the combo. Corruptor is amazing, 5/4 that deals damage. Yeah. And Hawkeye is in a great position to just seal the game on turn 9.
But
now you can just prep sprint with this, which is fine.
Yeah, the Corruptor is really weak to Evisceration, but on the other hand, still it's 1-for-1 because it killed a creature. Well, actually, just killed
1-for-2.
1-for-2, yeah.
Well, it didn't kill it on Biome, right? Because it had to be damaged before, but still, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like dictate what 2-for-1 is in Hearthstone. It's kind of different than other card games.
Oh, that implosion with the silence might work here, but even silence Corruptor I think is better, especially after seeing one Eviscerate. I think he will go for that. Silence Corruptor.
I agree.
Well, you need to deal 5 damage next turn to win the game, right?
Yeah.
So if the Corruptor will deal damage to the face, and it actually might, then he wins the game.
Yeah, so SI7 on these 2 points damage. Maybe you Fun of Knives is a 7.
Yeah, that's a great play.
The fun part is that if Hawkeye picks another Soulfire, he might wait until turn 10 and then risk it, and that's how much damage? 15 plus 11? That's
lethal.
That's 26, right?
It's 8 plus 3, 11 plus, yeah, it's 26. Yeah.
That's an OTK. He has 26.
No, he has 22.
Oh, 22 actually, yeah.
I mean, if you draw the second Soulfire, you absolutely go for that. The chance of losing is so small, especially in this matchup. It's not like an easy matchup.
5 imps! Look at that!
Wow.
That's cheating! That's cheating, man.
Why is Hawkeye so good? Tell us.
I don't know.
It should have been maximum 4.
I don't know, that guy cheats.
Well,
he makes Egg Shaman work. I mean, like, come on. He obviously cheats.
So what can Kaldi do? He knows that there is a combo, he knows that there was Tori-san, so it's very dangerous. It's like sitting on a powder keg. Hawkeye can just explode at any moment.
Yeah, the point is that the Farseer does not achieve anything at this point, I think. I mean, you're either dead with double Soulfire or you just leave. So you can just play Boom into Flurry into... yeah, that play.
By the way, this is the 3rd deadly poison played on a weapon with only 1 durability.
Yeah.
I think there should be a stat for that.
Yeah.
Like blowback, but something else.
Daggerback.
Daggerback.
Well, Hellfire deals with the problem, and then you play just Big Game Hunter, and you follow it up with your Imp Gang boss, and that's basically it.
That's a very strong turn, yeah.
If you Hellfire, you're so close to lethal. I mean, the Rogue is close to dying, because like Kaldi's Hand is has no damage at all. And you know that because
Yeah.
he has played everything.
Exactly. There was like one Eviscerate, 2 Blade Flurries, right?
Yep.
We have Twitch chat right here with us.
Right now you can you have to Hellfire into Imgang boss into BGH. I think like he's considering doing that, like Hellfiring after the Imgang boss to preserve his total. I don't really agree with that, but
Plays King boss.
yeah. He wants to preserve his life total.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah, that's
And it
only
didn't
to
work.
get the bombs. Yeah, it didn't work for him, but I can totally understand there. Well, 12 is dangerous.
That was I think that was the better play because right now he could be dead like on 12.
Yeah, and he has him in range anyway. He just needs to deal 2 more damage. So with backstab and wow, he can still Kaldi can still elude Hawkeye here with the
That's why-
backstab and Fan of Knives.
That's why I didn't like damaging his own Imgang boss, because it's in range of everything.
Yeah. I mean, he played way too safe, but if he had like all the burst in his hand, we would just say he did the right play. So, and he even backstabs. A lot of respect here by Kaldi. I like it.
That's because double Soulfire
Yep.
is 18, and that would be 19 with that imp.
And the killbot. Now that's one of the most crucial draws.
After the second Soulfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a top, definitely a Hillbot here. And maybe a BGH too.
He needs more pressure. If he gets a Twilight Drake, he won't be able to play it. So what is the card he wants to tap into?
Well, Soulfire for next turn.
Sulfur, yeah. But BGH is a very good body at this point. You have seen like pretty much everything from Kaldi. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Really?
I
What?
have no
Oh,
idea
he's-
what's happening.
Why? Okay, I guess the rock cannot heal it, but I don't like wasting the Dark Bomb here.
Yeah, because now a single sap, and he didn't see saps this game also, right?
That's because he was afraid if he plays the heal bot, Rogue will be able to deal how much damage with double oil?
well, it was a problem with.
If you play Deadly Poison to double oil, actually you're at 9 damage. You have a weapon of 9 damage.
But he saw 2 Blade Flurries.
Yeah,
so
I
that's-
know. I'm just
yeah.
saying double oil is 9 damage.
Yeah.
Plus Deadly. But right now he has 2 weapon charges, so he cannot use Deadly Poison. Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. this
But
way
he
at
did
all.
it.
Well, we'll have to.
Yeah, we have some technical issues right now. We
We'll
can't
have to
see the
wait for
stream, but in a
seconds.
moment, oh yeah,
Well-
okay, we see what's happening now.
Well, I heard the oil happen.
Yes, and deadly poison as well. I've seen a deadly poison and an oil being cast. So Malygos is back to hand.
That's a pretty neat play.
And right now Kaldi has to find good answers for this board. There's no Blade Flurry, or is there one? Are you certain of 2 being played?
I think so, right?
Of flurries?
Yeah.
I've seen one.
I remember one, but I'm
Yeah.
not. Yeah, probably it was a buffed Flurry. Buffed Fan of Knives. For
Yeah,
2
I
damage.
Oh
was-
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Wha-
was above Fan of Knives. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because I don't remember the first one.
So there was 2 Fan of Knives. Because one was already played on turn 3, I think, when there was an in-gang boss on board.
I'm not really sure about it. On turn 3, maybe it was a turn we were like considering Violet Teacher plus Prep coin.
Too many games today.
Yeah, too many games.
So there's 9 points of damage on board. And Malygos is plus 8. 17 points of damage.
I think Kaldi is in a commanding lead right now after the very safe play by Hawkeye.
That's true.
Nobody corrected me on my math. I was checking you guys.
No, we didn't hear.
No.
Well, you know, he can follow up with the Edwin Van Cleef, but and he most likely dies.
But oh, what? But right now it's 9 plus. No, it's not. He needs the second Soulfire, obviously.
Well, he has Mortal Coil.
But
to
right
kill.
now you obviously play the Malygos again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Mortal Coil, the Edwin Van Cleef.
I will go crazy if I see another play right here. I don't think he's capable of doing that.
6 damage with Mortal Coil.
I love the big mortar
Nice.
coils with Malygos. You don't need
Draw
Shadow Flame,
card.
right? You can just Soulfire here.
Second Mortal Coil, not really useful right now.
Yeah, I think you do Soulfire, because if by any chance Malygos dies, you want to secure your situation.
Wow, and Kaldi
Kal-
is out of cards.
One last card in his library.
So we have 1 Flurry left in the deck. and that's not it. But he actually can just Azure Drake into it. I hope we're not wrong, and he has played both flurries. But the way Kaldi has played this match, he expects a flurry in his deck.
Well,
Right.
I'm very curious because I'm kind of confused by the draws for now. So I'm not sure what.
If that's a
what is
flurry,
last card?
he wins, right? Because he Azure Drake into
Isn't-
flurry.
Isn't
and
that the
Sap?
second eviscerate?
No, I've seen two
first
eviscerates.
First one was played on Black and Corruptor, right?
And it was flaring.
That
yeah.
was the
Yeah.
flurry.
All the way.
So he.
And right now, yeah, he has to just prep it.
Prep
I mean, he
flurry.
knows his opponent has no like spells in hand which deal face damage, so he just goes.
Wait,
for
but
it.
he can top deck Soulfire.
He can top the Soulfire, he can top deck an Owl.
And he has the tap as
He
well.
has the Mortal Coil to kill one of the creatures. Well, that's not it.
Twilight Drake
He has
is
a
a black.
tap. He has many draws
But like-
to kill it.
Okay, right now he will just Mortal Coil and trade the Belcher, but
I
right
think
now-
you tap first.
does it really matter? But at this point, you don't tap and you just win the game. You know your opponent has Sap and something else in his hand. You think it's a 4-drop because like he only played one Shredder.
There is fatigue damage coming as
and
well.
that's game,
Yeah,
right?
that's, well, you play Valid Teacher.
You sub
You set
Malygos.
one of the creatures, and then the Defender of Argus is left on board, which deals 2 damage, and you get 2 damage from fatigue. So yeah, that's game.
That's game.
Wow. All right, so Hawkeye is able to take Kaldi 3-0.
And what was the last card that he would have drawn
Let's see.
after the tap?
Let's see the last card. That's an
Azure Drake.
Azure
Well,
Drake.
okay, that doesn't really matter, but
Yeah, he could draw from it, maybe
Wow.
into Soulfire. But
yeah, maybe.
amazing lineup and amazing match.
Wow, really well played. But just one small mistake when we just said he shouldn't play Malygos and just clear with a Dark Bomb. But eventually it worked out for him. We discussed before that he saw a game of Malilog against Malilog against Rogue going to Fatigue, and he just won that game. So you can also win that way because like the Rogue has very limited threats in this deck, and in this matchup you can just like outrun him of threats.
Yeah, because there's like 2 Farseers, 2 anti-kill bots, so it's basically like a warrior.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. All right, guys. Deflor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Well,
guys.
actually, stay with us because we
Okay.
have one more headset. So, Hawkeye, congratulations.
Thanks.
Can you tell us more about yourself? Like, congratulations on the win first, but tell us who you are and how are you doing in this tournament?
I'm doing fine. I'm 6-0.
Yeah,
I'm very
you
happy, of
advanced.
course. Huh?
You advanced for
Yeah,
already
I know.
for the top 8, and you will be just playing the last round for your best seed, because if you beat first one after the 7 rounds of Swiss, you will be playing against, in theory, the weakest link of the whole tournament, because he will be at the 8th place after the Swiss.
Yeah, I don't think there's a weakest actually.
Yeah, I'm
in
just
top 8.
teasing,
Yeah.
but
It's still top 8, right?
I maybe just give him the game right now. I don't even care that I passed in the top 8.
And just chill and wait for
Yeah.
tomorrow? All right.
Do we know if Tidler or Skaka won the game?
I don't think so. We don't think.
I don't know. They were playing right. All right, we will check while we talk. So, take us through your lineup, by the way. Why did you bring those decks, and how did you prepare?
I actually prepared for handlocks. I think that Druid beats handlock like 9 to 10 times. My summon runs a BJs as well.
Yeah, we saw that there.
Yeah, and then what else I was playing?
Well, you had Shaman, you had Malygos, War,
Yeah, and
right?
Malygos runs like double OLE and double BGH, and you can burst him down with 2 spells. So I was basically bringing the lineup to face handlocks.
Okay.
But I
What-
apparently faced only one. Yeah.
What about patrons? How do you are your decks prepared against patron warrior?
Versus patrons?
Yes.
Oh, we just lose.
Oh,
We
okay.
just lose versus patrons. Like my summon runs only 1 storm. I think maybe yeah, my lineup is not good versus patron. I think I just take a lose if I face a patron.
Yeah, that's also a strategy. Just
Yeah.
But that's the
That's
beauty.
actually so funny because many players prepared versus patrons and they already lost the tournament. They're out, and you prepared to lose versus patrons, and you're through.
Yeah,
So
happens.
pretty nice.
That's the beauty of the Conquest format. You can just have a lineup which is very weak to one deck, but you don't care. Like in deck elimination, this lineup would be very weak because you have 3 decks which are weak against the most dominant deck of the format. But in Conquest, you simply don't care because okay, you can have one win, but I will win the rest of your decks.
Yeah, it's true. Very good point.
By the way, I got information that Tidler won versus Ostkaka, so Tidler is already in, and we can look at the standings right now at the matches. So let's look at the board and see who is doing how and what are the matches. At least I got information that we can show it in a moment. All right, we're going to show it to you guys in a moment.
So
There it is.
Tidler won against Ostkaka 3-1.
All right, then we have Retord. We've seen that one.
Yeah, we've seen that one, yeah.
He still needs to win one more next round.
Unit qualified 2. Wait, not so fast. I missed some matches.
The Fishu won versus Reynolds. No show.
Well, those matches are not so
Yeah,
important
some
right
of these
now,
matches are from players who are already out of the tournament.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Some matches are still ongoing, so we are not having the scores yet. But what an amazing tournament. And Hawkeye, how do you feel like, I think the first player who qualifies for the top 8?
Yeah, with Tidler, of course. Yeah, I'm happy. I don't know what to say. I had this feeling again in the past, in U vs China. Yeah, it's much less now. In China, I was too hyped.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you nervous at all?
No, I'm not nervous.
That's good. That's a good good sign, because tomorrow will be a big day. Top 8 of the first DreamHack with Swiss format. But by the way, how do you feel about the Swiss format in comparison to, let's say, single double elimination? Or
I think that it's the most fair because yeah, the game has RNG. We all know that. But if you play like a lot of games, it comes to skill sometimes. It's not only RNG. That's why I like the Swiss format more than like single elimination.
Would you like to see more rounds than 7? Like let's say 9 rounds.
I think for 128 players, 7 is fine. 7 or 8, something like that.
Because then you always have one undefeated player.
Yeah,
after
that's
7
why.
rounds.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about your team? Because you're on Razor's Edge.
Razor's Edge Gaming, yeah.
Okay.
We are a team from Greece, but we have some foreign players. Yeah, we are. Well, I would say like, we play Hearthstone. We like the game. That's all.
So I heard from Deathlord that you're pretty good at Yu-Gi-Oh as well as a team.
No.
Yeah, you have a very your team, the Razor Shed Gaming.
Oh yeah,
the Yu-Gi-Oh
yeah.
squad.
the
Yeah.
team.
I
Not
thought
you
I was
personally,
yeah. We have also a team in Yu-Gi-Oh. They are pretty good. Yeah.
And you also had a very big. You have tournaments going on, like.
Yeah.
You have a very big LAN tournament. Now they also run like weekly qualifiers open to everyone, which award BlizzCon points.
All right.
And you can also qualify to a LAN event, which is going to be hosted like in like in August.
Yeah, that's nice.
Sounds like a pretty awesome team, actually.
Yeah.
So, any final shoutouts?
Shout out to my team, I guess. Razor's Edge Gaming.
All right, that's a good shout out. Deathlord, any shoutouts from you?
Okay, just to everyone who supports
Shout
me
out to
stuff.
Deathlord.
I'm just cheering up for Hawkeye. I'm so happy he won, and we'll see him in the top 8. So that's like a big win.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on winning Hawkeye and qualifying. I think right now we are going for a short break, and then we'll have Amaz versus Yogg. That's an elimination match. So if Amaz loses, he's out of the tournament. If he wins, he will stay. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.